Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel, CeeChronicles here. If you're joining me on this platform for the very first time, I post fragrance related content weekly and I do try to post consistently. So if fragrance content, anything fragrance related is up your alley, please do consider joining us here by subscribing, guys. That is how you can support this channel. To those who are returning, thank you so much, guys, for the continued support. I appreciate you as always. Welcome to today's video. I have picked a couple of Gourmand fragrances. These are fragrances, guys, that are built around the elements of food. They will remind you of food, you know, along them lines. So what prompted this video, guys, was I did throw a review, if it's not yesterday, it'll be the day before yesterday, of my RIVE French coffee. And the following day, my closet was just smelling of coffee, and it just gave me an idea to pick some of the Gourmand leaning fragrances within my collection and drop them here for your recommendation, guys. So it is RIVE's French coffee that prompted this video. However, this video is going to showcase 10 Gourmand leaning fragrances within my collection. The first one, guys, being from Latafa, and this is Out Sublime. If you haven't picked up this fragrance, guys, don't sleep on it. It's one of those fragrances that when you receive it from the mail comes across as pretty light and almost like a softy, but it does macerate to a beautiful thick concoction, guys, a fruit juice concoction built around apple and lychee. There are woods included here, but those are not the star of the show. What you're going to get mostly, guys, with Out Sublime is it's going to evoke an emotion of a moment where you were probably very thirsty and what you wanted was a gigantic glass of juice, mouth-watering juice, just to quench that thirst. That is what you're going to get from this. And it thickens over time. The performance on this fragrance, guys, has turned from being just basic to spectacular. But yes, it is a fruity, so you've got to love those sort of fragrances for you to appreciate this. It also does list oud, but if you're not an oud lover, don't let that put you off. The oud is barely smellable. It also does have woods, but it's not really about the woods or the oud in this fragrance. It's about that crisp, leaning, juicy apple, guys, and a very refined offering from Latafa is what you're going to get from this. It does, of course, keep that sort of juvenile feel with it, but as it stays longer in your collection, it kind of like has a concentration that doesn't feel childish. So one recommendation, guys, is going to be Out Sublime for those who like to smell edible, and it's sitting on our number 1. Second on the lineup, guys, is going to be French coffee, the one that prompted me to do this video. I'm not going to spray French coffee, guys, because when I did do a review of it, my closet was smelling like this for about 2 days. So I'm just going to sniff it off the nozzle. This is a beautiful fragrance, I must say. However, you've got to love the thickest coffee out there. You've got to love that really concentrated toasted roast there. It is a coffee that does not feel as though it has enough milk, if at all. For some, you're going to get a coffee that just feels outright as though it's black coffee. That, coupled with some sugar, some caramel. The sugar as well feels like brown sugar, like a really sticky, sticky caramelized sugar. That is what you're going to get from this fragrance, as well as vanilla. So it's going to tick the boxes, of course, for anyone who loves those kind of fragrances. It does hold up. It's a sticky kind of coffee. Very gourmand leaning, and it's sitting on our number 2, guys. Is RIVE's French coffee. The third on my lineup, guys, is Tuscan. Okay, this one is from Paris Corner. If you can see the logo there. Tuscan smells just like it looks. The finish for this bottle, guys, is rubbery. So they have put an effort when it comes to this particular packaging. There's two. There's Tuscan Marina, and this is just a basic Tuscan. I couldn't find the notes for this one. However, it did qualify as a Gourmand. That is why it's here. So I'm going to give you a little brief take of what I think of it. This guys, smells as though it's got apricots, especially peach and apricots. If you love such fragrances, this is going to do it for you. So it's going also to be suited for, you know, sunny weather. It does scream summery, also screams even vacation, beach vibes. It also does have a decent longevity. If you like your L'Imperatrice 3, you are probably going to like this one. It is in the same vein. However, I actually get a peach forward fragrance and with wasps, of course, that feel like watermelon. Tuscan by Paris Corner is sitting on our number 3. The fourth on the lineup, guys, is a fragrance I feel everybody needs in their collection. It's also from our RIVE, and this one is Choco Mask. What I don't like about this one is just the shape of the bottle. I wish they could put this in one of the decent, you know, bottles, all right? I know it is a cheapie, but both are, you know, cheapies. So I just wish they would come up with 100 ml and put it in a decent bottle, something like this. However, why it is here, guys, is this is more of the chocolate and less of the musk. This fragrance, guys, is for chocolate lovers. The difference between this one and the likes of Nebras is the fact that this one has been fused with a little bit of that musk, you know, makes it not so thick. I put this one, guys, on the list because if you have fragrances within your collection that you have a difficult time with and you want to layer, or you have a fragrance that is stubborn in a certain element, say for instance a floral that is doing too much, if you have this little cheapie there, you can use this one side by side with that floral, or you can, you know, put them on top of each other. This one tends to kind of give any fragrance a direction that is very wearable, at least to my nose. Kind of works in the same vein as what Kahili's Vanilla 28 does, although it's not the same fragrance. Totally recommend this one, guys, for those who want to smell yummy, for those who want to smell edible. This is a fragrance that you may want to, you know, add to your collection, and it is also a great fragrance as a standalone, in as much as I did clue you up there that you can layer it. So sitting on our number 4, guys, is our RIVE's Choco Mask. The fifth on the lineup I had to add because not adding this one would have just made me feel as though this video is incomplete, considering that I did put, you know, French coffee there. So Eternal Coffee is by Paris Corner, and a lot of you guys actually asked me to buy our RIVE's French coffee because you wanted to know the differences. So if the comparison video is taking too long, what I'm going to say here should be able to help you, you know, in which one to purchase. This, guys, is just a cappuccino in a bottle, full of that cream there. That is what you're going to get in this coffee. This coffee is not as thickened as that of French coffee. And another thing with this coffee, guys, is it is quite perfumey to my nose. To me, the coffee is there. It's there in the first 2 hours. However, it's an overly milky kind of coffee, and I actually like and wear this one a lot. It's here, guys, as an option in case, you know, you like coffee fragrances and you don't know which to go for. Very Gourmand leaning there. Definitely going to make you want to make a cup of coffee. If you are the sort that loves coffee, this is, you know, going to do it for you. Now, another mental shortcut I can give you guys is if you're an early morning person that likes to have your coffee as a stimulant, the differences here are this one comes across as a thickened black or semi-creamed coffee, very strong because you're drinking it first because you like coffee, of course, and secondly because you want it as a stimulant, right? So this is how this one interprets to the nose. However, this one can be a coffee that you can even drink, say, at night. It's to me, it comes across as a coffee that is not necessarily going to wake you up, if you will, or it's a coffee that doesn't interpret as one that will energize you because it doesn't feel that strong. And then in terms of lasting power, of course, if you're crazy about that thick toasted coffee, then this one's going to give you a better lasting power. This one fizzles in about 2 hours, although both of them are coffee based. So I think if you wanted to know that information, I think there's plenty there. You can work with that in terms of, you know, deciding which one you want. This, guys, is Eternal Coffee, and it was sitting on our number 5. Sixth on the lineup, guys, is from Latafa as well, and this one is Isaf. We have featured this one in 2 previous videos, but it's here, guys, because of a cinema cinnamon accord mixing with what feels like a chocolate. That is why I thought to add it here, because those two elements will make it come across as apple pie-ish, as gingerbreadish, or a third example being like as what you call those, hot cross bunny, that sort of thing. So this one gives me like a Christmassy vibe theme going on there with this fragrance. It is a beautiful fragrance. It has a decent lasting power. If you're one of those people that are not sure of some of these offerings from Latafa, and you just want to know, is it Middle Eastern leaning or not? No, this one doesn't give me Middle Eastern vibes. However, it does have a use of spices there. So you've got to be somebody who loves a spicy kick in your fragrances for you to appreciate our stuff, guys. It's here and it's sitting on our number 6. Now, 7th on this list is going to be this baby here. This is Pepper So Spicy, guys, by Fragrance World. This one is a bit on the weird side. While we were talking about chocolate in the other ones, fruit juice, coffee, this one, on the other hand, is a spicy fragrance. Mental shortcut. This is going to be your curry. This is going to be your vindaloo. That is what I get from this one, guys. I get Indian kitchen vibes from this fragrance, and unmistakably so. However, the good news about it, in case that bothers you, is it is a fragrance after all. So you will get that for 2 hours, maybe 3. 2 hours, maybe 2.5 stretching it. Let me not say 3. You're gonna get that kick there. It almost feels as though I'm in a kitchen and I've been cooking, or I've just walked into a spice shop. But it dries down into like a beautiful soapy feel of a fragrance there, guys, and a bit of a powdery feel there, but mostly leaning soapy and musky. But it is a pleasant surprise, guys, because this one is unconventional. This one takes its own direction. So this is Gourmand, but just taking a different direction altogether. If you want to experiment and add something very different to your collection, I do recommend, guys, Fragrance World is Pepper So Spicy, and it's sitting on our number 7. The 8th on the lineup has got to be Vanilla 28. I always give my Choco Mask as an alternative in case you cannot get this. However, they're not the same. This is a vanilla bomb. This is going to remind you of, when you went into a bakery, for instance, and they were mixing that flour mixture, to make a cake or something, and then they just dropped in that vanilla extract. That is what you're going to get from this fragrance, guys, simply put. It's also gonna remind you of a sticky brown sugar. What do they call? I always forget the name of that sticky brown sugar that is used for baking, especially if you're gonna make the fruit cake. That brown sugar. It's also gonna remind you of treacle as well. One spritz of this is gonna take you to a time where there was a cake baking in the oven, or you were the one who was actually mixing, the ingredients for your cake, and then you dropped in that vanilla extract, mixing with the flour, mixing with that sugar there. That's exactly what you're going to get in perfume form. I absolutely love this. I feel it is a must, and it is another one, guys, that macerates to a beast. When I purchased this one, I was underwhelmed because I sprayed my arm and I could hardly smell it after an hour. Sprayed my clothes, after 2 hours it was gone, and then it started to darken. Now it is a fragrance that when I spray, guys, I can smell this a lot. The only difference is it does perform like intimately. It is not a fragrance that projects the most, but the wearer will absolutely, enjoy this vanilla. Sitting on our number 8 is going to be Kahila's Vanilla 28. The 9th fragrance on this lineup, guys, is Oud 24 Hours by Al Zafran, okay? Inspired by Tom Ford's Black Orchid. This, guys, has chocolate. So it's got the chocolate and the treacle mixing with some spices there. But the magic with this one, to me, with this particular one, is where some might say it smells cough syrupy, I'm going to say yes. To some noses, it's going to smell that way, but I get a black currant that then mixes with a combination of different fruits, and that with chocolate then results in like licorice undertones. I do get licorice nuances from this fragrance. And as a child, I was so obsessed with those. You know, I used to buy, you could get them in the longer sizes, whatever, length you wanted, because they used to cut them into different sizes. The licorice sweet as is, not, with an icing sugar mix or whatever. This is what I get to my nose. This is exactly what it smells like. And why I said it's a staple in my collection, guys, is because it's nostalgic to me for that reason. It's a perfect juice, very gourmand leaning. It's going to remind you either of licorice or of chocolate or of truffle. Oud 24 Hours by Ad Al Zafran, and it is sitting on our number 9. Now the 10th and last one on this lineup is going to be Kahila Luxe. This one is from Paris Corner. This, guys, if you're a woman, I'm going to have to say caution, because it does have a sour cherry there that mixes with chocolate. There's a lot going on with this fragrance. Expect dark chocolate, expect a sour boozy cherry, expect some woods, expect a lot of spices. But what you're going to get, or what your nose is going to end up extracting there, is going to be something that feels like whiskey. It's almost as if you're holding a glass of whiskey there and you just put it to your nose, and that whiskey accord is smoothened by honey. That is the mental shortcut I can give you guys about this fragrance. It smells like a realistic shot of whiskey. So if it's not something that's up your alley, please try to test this before you buy it. I wouldn't recommend this as a blind buy worthy fragrance, unless what I'm saying here about it having nuances of alcohol is something that you can do. Yes, it does have chocolate, dark chocolate, at it, a good dose of that dark chocolate. However, do not blind buy this if it's not something that you are sure of, guys. Sitting on number 10 and wrapping up this video, guys, is Kahila Luxe. So that's a wrap, guys. Those are 10 fragrances within my collection that I thought to bring here, that are going to smell edible to the nose. 9 confirmed. The 10th one is one that you may want to test, the Kahila Luxe, guys, because it does have the dark chocolate but leans a lot boozy, a lot like whiskey. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. CeeChronicles is my name. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Also, do remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this video, guys. And remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.